What's going on, everybody? Rob here, Trev2323. That's Trev2323. Doing a little video on upgrading your boat, buying and selling. You see I got an empty space here that is selling your boat. I had actually I thought it was a 16-foot all this time, because I say 16-foot because when I got my ticket with my boat, the forest preserve guy measured out my boat and it was 15 3/4, he said. So I always called it a 16-foot John boat. Looking at the title, it was said 14 foot. So I don't know where the guy came up with 15 3/4. But you see that brown spot? That's where my boat was parked, so I could wrap it around the house. I had my John boat for like 3 years. Did I love it? I loved my John boat. I had my son. He's 21 now. He's engaged. And me and my son spent so much time on that boat. My daughter, my son-in-law, we had such a good time in that boat. My grandbaby actually been inside of the boat but not on the water. It just turned 2 years old, because when I was getting it ready to uncover it and start the motor and all that, I let him climb up the ladder. He was playing around in the boat. He was playing around in my canoe. So when I bought and selling my John boat, it's a little bit easier than a bigger boat, because everybody says you get 2-foot-itis, that you want a bigger boat, and normally it's by 2 feet you get your bigger boat. Heck, I jumped for a 26-foot boat. But anyways, so this right here, when I had my boat, it was awesome. Everything was good. Everything was peachy keen. But self-launching it was just a little bit too stressful for me now that my son was doing his own thing in life. And, you know, my wife really isn't too much a fisherwoman. I did like her sunbathing when I was out there fishing. She was sunbathing on the boat. I appreciated that. But one good thing is I actually felt kind of relieved when I got this part of my backyard back. I'm in a Chicago backyard. I got my cantilever gate right there, and it was easier for me. We put this carport here because I'm a YouTuber, and that garage is filled with crap. When I say filled with crap, I mean filled with crap. So I do gotta get rid and downsize of a lot of my stuff. So we put this carport here because my wife's car, her other car that we had, man, the one time it hailed, it had dings all over it. So we got a carport here right now so that car doesn't get dinged with hail. Okay, but when we put the carport here in the car, even though the opening was bigger than the swing gates that I had, it just made it a little bit more inconvenient, really. You know, because before, without the carport in the car here, all I do is back my van up, hook it up, and go. Back my van up, hook it up, and go. There's one boat ramp, Wolf Lake, the Illinois side off of Avenue O, that I would self-launch at, because there's a concrete berm there. When you back all the way up, your vehicle cannot go further back. So if you self-launch and get out your vehicle, take your foot off the brake, it's not gonna, small chance of it bouncing over that berm. So your trailer does bounce over it to go get the boat in the water, but the van doesn't back. And when I'm on those really steep pitched boat ramps, man, that's just a really unsettling feeling, because when you take your foot off the brake, if you don't got the special locks on your front brakes, they unlock and it's just your back ones, and normally those are in the water. So if you're on algae, you're shooting backwards. That happened to me one time with the canoe. I bought the Field & Stream Scout canoe. I really didn't like it. It was a 14-foot canoe, only 85 pounds, but man, 85 pounds at 14 feet long was just too hard to work with. I went on it without a trolling motor. Worst thing ever. The wind picked up and blew me to the other side of the lake, and man, I was paddling my butt off for about an hour just trying to make it back to the other side of the lake. And when I stood up, it was just too unstable, because I was used to the width of the John boat walking on a regular floor. So I'm trying to upgrade from puddle jumpers, what they call them, you know, the John boat, to a bigger boat. But that's going to be a whole separate video in itself, everything that I'm going through with there. But I want to say, selling my boat, I did sell it on Craigslist, and I got a guy, yeah, I put it on Craigslist at a fair price, because I feel I should give everybody a deal, because I don't want anybody coming back at me saying, well, you shafted me, you screwed me, or whatever. So I actually put stuff on as a really good deal, so I don't get that. I'm honest with everybody. But So the boat came and went. The guy says, you know, he was just looking forward. He got a bigger boat actually, and came to buy a smaller boat because he wanted a boat for the smaller lakes, because his boat he can't get on the smaller lakes. So if you're looking for a boat, you got to take into consideration where you're going to store it at, because this was dead space in my yard. All this was dead space because this is where my boat was. Last year, I took it out 3 times. My boat is what I did. Now, one thing I will admit, it does create everlasting memories. My son-in-law caught his first fish on my boat, and he was excited and remembered what pole he used and everything. So boats do create everlasting memories. I will never in my heart say, boy, do I regret that time I was spending on the lake with my kids. I'll never say that. I am looking to upgrade down the road. I say the deal of the century the deal of the century happens once a day if you're looking. So when I'm ready to purchase my other boat, I will let you know, follow up on that. But to get this one right now, they say, there's an old saying that the 2 times people are excited with their boat: first time when they bought it, the second time when they sold it. I don't believe in that. In my heart, I'm a fisherman. The stress was self-launching. That was my stress, and I try to keep as much stress out of my life. So I'm looking at marina life now, where I got to launch 1 time and bring it in 1 time, although it's a lot more expensive and a lot more maintenance. So that's going to be a whole other video. But with my boat, I did really love my boat, but in a smaller area, you got to figure out where you're going to keep it. One thing with keeping my boat on the ground, you see there's concrete blocks back there. You jack it up and you put it on concrete blocks. I don't know if it's true or not, but when you store a boat for a long period of time in the grass, it's said that the actual ground absorbs the moisture from the rubber in the tires. So a lot of tires do get dry rotted. So what I did is I jacked it up and I had it on blocks. Also, I always use premium gas in my John boat. At the end of the season, I would top up my tank and put stable in it. Top it up and put stable in it, and you run it with that stable in it, so it gets all that gas stabilizer through the engine. Then you unplug the gas line from the little motor, and then I just let it run out. And this season, the guy came to buy it, started right up, not a problem. But my full tank of gas, you can't do that in a big 26-foot boat, but you shake it up so because it settles over the season, separates the gas and the oil and all that. So I shook it up a lot. So this boat is gone. There's another one that may possibly be on the way, but either way, that's my thing with my John boat. I did love it. The self-launching just got a little bit too hard for me, but with the next boat, I'm going to be at the Marine Life, and I'm already stressing out about I need a bow thruster. All right, either way, stay tuned, please. Bye bye.